look what I got! Thanks to Moose Toys for sponsoring this video. They sent me this giant box full of fun surprises and challenged me to make one of their Pikmi plushes into a cake without me knowing which one I was gonna open. Well, challenge accepted. My name is Lori and you're watching The Icing Artist. There are over 45 cute mini plushies to collect inside these Pikmi Pop surprise packs. So basically, I could be opening anything. Aw, it's Peepy the Siamese cat. My favorite thing about these plushes is that they're scented. Bubblegum. Because Peepy smells like bubblegum, I'm gonna make this cake taste like bubblegum. So I got some bubblegum extract and I'm gonna add that into my vanilla cake batter. But of course, I'm not just gonna leave this cake plain white. I'm gonna color it pink and blue to match the cake and so it looks like bubblegum. Peepy is going to help me track my progress. I baked 2 8-inch round cakes and divided those into 2 layers. So that way when I stack it up, it's gonna look striped inside. And then I carved it into a ball shape, which was actually a little bit tricky. I just kind of started on the edges and kind of rounded over that top and worked my way down. Best way to carve cakes is definitely with a serrated knife because it just carves through it, kind of like bread. Now that we have our perfect ball shape, I'm going to take it apart so that way I can get ready to put a very special surprise in the center. Can you guess what that is? And to do that, I'm just gonna use a ruler and a circle to make sure that these circles are perfectly center and then cut down. But you're not gonna cut the top of the cake because that's gonna work as a little hat to hold everything in. Now while I layer up my cake with buttercream icing, I wanna see what other kind of Pikmi characters I got. Pikmi Pops come in 3 different lollipop shaped surprise packs and I'm gonna open up the medium one next. Inside you get 2 surprise plushies. I got Glamma the peacock and I got Dainty the donkey. He is a very velvet ultra rare. Blueberry, smells like blueberry. But there's also fancy foils, shimmery sea, and fantasy rares to collect. I am 100% hooked. These are adorable. But you also get other sweet surprises. Before I open my next Pikmi Pop, I need to fill this cake with that special surprise. Bubblegum, obviously, because he smells like bubblegum. And then top it off with the hat of that top layer holding it all in. Now while I crumb coat this cake, I have to open one of these big ones. I got Dream the unicorn who smells like marshmallows and is stretchy kind of like marshmallows. You guys can display your mini plushies inside those lollipops or dangle them on your bag or keys or phone, anywhere you want really. Now that my cake is perfectly smooth, I'm just gonna wet it with a little bit of water and then dab off the excess so that way it's wet enough for my fondant to stick, but not too wet that the fondant goes, drooping. I dyed my fondant a light shade of blue to match my little plushie and then rolled it out. And then I just rolled that back of my rolling pin and back over my cake and just smoothed that out with my hands, just trying to get that all tucked in around the ball. The best way I found to do this, because this is not an easy shape to cover, is just lightly pull out the fondant and then kind of tuck it back in with your hands. And it's gonna be the same thing when you're trimming it. You're just gonna trim off a little bit and then tuck it in, and then trim off a little bit and tuck it in until you get that nice clean bottom edge. And then for its little paws, I just rolled out these ovals and then flattened those with my rolling pin. I wet those and then just stuck those under my cake so that way these little baby paws were barely sticking out of his big round body. And I did the same thing with his back paws. Now for its face, I wanted to look more like the cartoon Peepy because I really love those adorable little closed eyes. They had a coloring page on their website, so I just printed that out as my template and that's gonna help me make everything proportionally for its face. Starting out with that little patch on the front of its face, I rolled out my white fondant and cut that out and just glued that on using some water. Water is going to help glue all of these fondant pieces together. Next onto his little smile, which was super tricky to cut out because it's so detailed, I just took my time and used a sharp knife. I did the same thing to cut out its little eyes, and its cheeks I just rolled out these little pink ovals and kind of flattened those down a bit. For its whiskers, I just rolled my fondant into like a thin little black log and then chopped those to which length I thought the whiskers were gonna be. Glued on all of those details using some water. Now for the tricky part, those huge pointed ears. They're massive and like folded. How am I gonna make those out of fondant? I was so worried about those ears for so long. It was almost challenge not accepted. But I decided to push on forward. I made myself a little template to get the shape just right, cut that out of my bright pink fondant, and then kind of folded over the one edge. Because they're fabric ears, so you kind of have to make them look like fabric and make them kind of folded. It actually worked. I know, I'm as surprised as you are. And then to dress his ears up to look more like bubblegum ears, I cut out little polka dots out of multicolors and glued those on. Now to put these ears onto the cake, the scary part, I just added a little bit of water onto the bottom of the ear and gently kind of put that onto the cake, and they actually stuck just like that without any support, thank goodness. Next, the tail. I could just glue it straight to the cake, but Kevin, the man behind the camera, thought it would be really good to have it sticking out away from the cake. It'll be easy, he says. Why did I leave all the complicated bits right to the end of the cake? But to do the tail, I just took a little bit of white and my pink fondant and kind of marbled that together on the one end and rolled that into a log shape. Then to support the weight of this standing up tall tail, I just stuck in some flour wire, added some water to the tail, stuck that to the cake, and it seemed to hold okay. And then so the tail wasn't weirdly standing straight up in the air, I just added some curve to it. I think it's pretty safe to say, challenge completed. Not only does this cake look like PB, but it tastes like bubblegum with hidden surprise of bubblegum inside. How could it really get any better? Pikmi Pops, I am so ready for your next challenge. And it's perfect timing because Pikmi Pops just launched the newest addition to the Pikmi family, the Push Me Ups! Oh, you're cleaning all this up.
Really?
There's 12 new icicle characters to collect. You guys can get your own Pikmi Pops at major retailers near you and check out more info on more characters at pikmipops.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks to Moose Toys for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys again next week.